myself to watch my faces.
Hey, how are you
Hey,
doing, Birdie?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing amazing. I am so excited to be talking to you today. I have been looking forward to this business spotlight, and I was thinking to myself, you and I have had some of the most authentic conversations, and I love talking to you. I love, hearing what comes out of like the things, like what you think and how you envision the world and your vision and your ideas. It always motivates me. So I really, really was excited about doing this particular business spotlight because I was like, Birdie always comes with the heat. Like you come with the heat, you come with the um how do I think about myself as I am connected to this world and how I'm connected to the things around me? And I absolutely love that. And I love the fact that you are able to bridge that over into the business space as well as personal realms. So I'm excited to introduce you. And I am going to start. So my interviews are so not traditional, right? When we talk about business spotlight, what's the purpose of me doing business spotlights, right? So we have this success partnership, and we have a group of people that we are, joining forces to make some things happen, right? We're joining first forces to create an ecosystem that drives revenue. We are servicing people, we are servicing in our community, and we are learning how to collaborate with each other and forge some alliances, which is something that I am absolutely 100% in support of. So I'm gonna jump right in.
Okay.
All right. And I'm going to ask the first question. So, how long have you been doing what you do?
20, it'll be 26 years in February next year.
Okay. That's good. That's good stuff. 26 years. That means you're an expert in this thing, right? You have sharpened some iron and you have tooled yourself to be prepared, right? So, why do you do what you do?
Because I love people. Because I love people. I started out, and if you calculate, I'm 44. And if I say 26 years, I mean, I was 18 when I first wrote my first book and published my first book that was about helping families. And it was the most amazing thing, but I knew nothing about the industries at all. I just wanted to be a bridge. And that's my mantra now. I am a bridge from where you are to where you want to be. So that bridge from parent to child and child to parent, that's what my first collection of books were. So that's how I started in the personal development space. But of course, at the time, I didn't think that's what it was.
That naturally leads us to the next question, right? So this is the place where most people start off, right? I really want people to know how long you've been doing it so people can know that you're an expert. And I want people to understand why you do it so they can know that you care. And then that brings me to the next question. If you had to give me a passion pitch to tell me who you are and what you do and why you do it, what would that sound like?
Birdie Chesson. Again, I'm that bridge. I want to see how you are. I love you as you are, but I know that you want more. And because you want more, you require more. And of course, if you're willing to do the work, then I can help you get to be where you want to go. And I'll be that bridge for you until you can get to where you really want to go by yourself.
Okay. So thank you for sharing that. And
That
then
makes
tell us,
sense.
yeah, it does, but it's gonna make even more sense to the people watching when you tell us exactly what you do. What do you do?
I am an author. I'm a publisher. I am definitely, and my whole heading is I'm a personal development specialist. So because everything that I do, my coaching falls under the umbrella of personal development, everything that I do is to help develop the person or the personal space within that person.
Give me some examples of the personal development that you service or that you provide. Tell me some things yeah, tell me some things, and then I'll ask the next question.
Okay, so my books, all of the books that I write are all self-help in some way, because self-help is the best help. So within that whole platform right there, that's where my coaching goes. That's where everything that encompasses everything that I do is in helping the person be who they really want to be, or help themselves. It's not me that has to do the work. It's them that have to do the work. I just provide the steps in order to be like, listen, you go this way, because don't you see that?
So what kind of clients are you looking for? Who's your target audience? Like, who do you desire to talk to, and who do you provide the most benefit to?
Okay, so you know how people say, I help everybody. We all know that's not literally where it is. I am all about the roots. So the root of who you are. Usually my clients start at the age of 18 and up. So there's us as women, we start over again. My first platform was called Rejoin Your Life. And it was for women that were 25 and up. And then when I started working with young women, and I was working in high schools, of course, the ages climbed back a little bit. But of course, when you hit that age of 18, I can't say that you're on your own, but a lot of your decisions count so much more. Okay. So that was where we are foundation building. So 18 and up.
Okay, so the next question I would like to ask you, just like along the vein of that, is what kind of results do you produce for your clients? You mentioned that you're the bridge, right? But talk to me a little bit around, if I come to you and I talk to you, what are some of your clients' outcome desires? And then what are like the results of what you provide? Okay,
so within a lot of the testimonials that I have, can I say that sometimes what women come for, they get so much more than they even thought of. Like I guess with me, they learn that the sky is not even the limit. So the things that you thought that you were gonna do when you first came in are not those things. Once you go there, you're like, wait a minute, I could actually do this. And then I could do this. So one of my favorites was a young girl. When I first met her, she was homeless. And then she was couch surfing because she was living in her car at the first time that I met her. And we met inside of a group on Zoom. And after a while, she was like, Birdie, I don't know where you're going, but I'll follow you. And when I tell you that now this girl is starting her own trucking company, she has her own place, she's doing all of the things that she wanted to do. And she was living in her car in Florida. Now she's in North Carolina with her trucking company. And she's like looking out for building her business credit in order to buy her own fleet of trucks, because she already has clients that want to do the radio thing with her. And that's just one. I mean, I love my sisters. We built a whole sisterhood around our relationships with each other. And so, that goes into the way bigger picture, but I can only say that I am so proud of my sisters. So.
Thank you for sharing that. So that leads us into, if you had to take a step back and you had to ask a group of people to close their eyes and visualize the progression of your business, walk me through that. What does that look like?
Okay, so I can go back to 18-year-old Birdie. And when I say that, as I went in, all I wanted to do was tell stories to help families because I was a nanny back then. So I went to different families and I saw that there were things that the kids wanted to say to their parents and couldn't. So I made stories of, Mom, this is what I would tell you. And I would give it to the mom. I would give it to the baby. We would like, if it was a conversation that I could engage in or have it, I mean, and that's where it started out with families. And then I was like, when I started teaching other people how to write their own books, then I learned so much more about people that was like, wait a minute. People want to tell a story, but they don't know where to start. So then it's like, okay, well, if you want to tell your story, then, is there a certain point in your life? Because a lot of times people are like, I want to tell my whole life story. And it's like, sometimes you just want people to understand you. And that's the part of it where a lot of people get stuck. So I went from writing my own books to help people communicate to going into coaching to helping people understand themselves so they can tell other people how to understand them. And then when I started getting into coaching, it was like, wait a minute, this isn't just about writing books. This isn't about teaching people how to write books. This is about helping people develop themselves into being able to unfold, because we have so many layers. And if we peel back that hard layer or that layer that nobody wants, or they don't even want, or that's not serving them, then that's what I feel like I've grown into. And I have so much more unfolding to do because I'm seeing more and more of how much of an impact that I've had. I see families and the wives being now women being wives and them having their own kids and being like, hey, Birdie, do you remember when we talked about such and such? And I'm like, you remember that? Yeah.
So let's unpack that. I'd like to let's unpack that. That takes us forward, right? So let's talk about, what does progression look like in the future? So how do we get from the impact that you're having now, and what does this look like going forward? What does your business look like going forward? What do you see?
I see myself showing up more, because I've had a lot of people read my books. A lot of people say that it changed their lives. A lot of people, it's one thing to like listen to a voice of a woman being transparent about her journey. But when you see her unfold, and I want more transparency. And that means that Birdie got to turn the lights on, because I have always been a voice. I've always had a voice in the background. And when I get in front of an audience, I shine because I know who I am. But that means that my mission is to be more visible. So Birdie has to show up.
Birdie, what does that feel like when you create a safe space for people to be empowered to have their own agency over themselves? What does that feel like?
Vulnerability for me. Okay. Because in order for you to trust me, I have to show you me to be trusted. And it's important to show, if you have safe spaces, that the people in the room are safe.
I'm going to take a deep breath on that. I want to receive all of that, right? Because I'm all about safe spaces. So that leads me to my next question. So my next question is, Birdie, how do you want the world to be different because you lived in it?
I don't want to sound cocky, but I feel like the world is different because I've been in it.
Okay, then tell me how.
I'm like,
so, and I get that. I'm okay with that. Like we hold space for that. That's not cocky. That's fact, right? So even if that is the case, then tell me how. How is the world different because you live in it?
I believe that because I am transparent in so many different ways and using my voice in so many different ways that I can touch anything and anyone at any time. If you look for me, I'll be found. And if it's meant to be, you will find me.
Okay.
And
All
you won't
right.
forget me either.
So I'm going to challenge you to dig a little bit deeper, and I
Mhm.
want you to give me some very specific examples of how the world has changed because you're in it. Like I need something tangible. Like when people are watching this video, I want them to be like, you know what? That resonates with me, right? So if you could say in your top two things that you've impacted in the world or in your community, what would those top two things be?
One of the top two things would be my books and my sisterhood.
Okay.
When someone has told me, because I have books that teachers are using in classrooms. I have books that are teaching people how to tell their story. So their lives are touched by anything that I've written that's like, oh, Birdie taught me how to write a book. I have groups that teach people that it's automated already, that you can teach people how to write a book. And the books that I've written, the ones that I've given my own voice to, that's part of the foundation of what my sisterhood is. Because a lot of the women in our group of sisters, and I say our group because it's an ever expanding sisterhood, that the book, even if, well, everybody's read the book and it's touched them in different ways. And yeah. Have you ever heard of This Is Your Life?
Yes.
When someone opens up a screen and says, this is your life. And this is not something that you've seen before. This is something that is revealed to you that you didn't know that was your power. And you didn't even these are not just, my one power or two powers. This is a power that you didn't even know that you saw. That other people see. And the beauty of what it is that I've done or that I'm doing, because I it's not over yet, so I can't say done, is that
you are being.
Yes, being. I live and breathe this. And within my sisterhood, when I'm doing bad, and that's the beauty of the transparency. Like I'm not here on this high horse that nobody's ever seen me have a bad day. Y'all have seen me have a bad month, a bad couple of months, and we still show up for each other. And it's a symbiotic relationship where we all can coexist as sisters. And it changed my life. I'm still evolving. And, I always hope that being my sister changes my sister's life too, if that makes sense.
It does. All right, so I'm going to give you 3 words. I'm going to put them out there. You choose a word and you talk about it. Whatever fancies you. Legacy, mentorship, and succession.
Ooh, those are good words. Legacy. I would absolutely love for our sisterhood to continue to go on, even if I didn't show up. Even if I didn't come to the table and say, hey, y'all eat without me. I'll be here or I'm not here. I would love, love, love to know in my soul that my sisters are still there for each other. And this is not just the impact that's within our immediate collective, but the lives that my sisters touch, how their legacy lives on. And I'm not gonna say I'm gonna take credit for any of their legacies, but I hope that our interaction helped the foundation of what that would be. And so when their expansion, my legacy lives on throughout y'all legacy, my sister's legacy, everyone whose lives is touched is better because they knew me, they heard of me, they read my words, heard my work. And more than anything, I want to live forever. And I think within that, there is succession. And what's the other word? Legacy, succession.
You actually knocked that question out the park. It was 3. It was legacy, mentorship, and succession. And you needed to pick one, and you actually touched on 2. So you actually gave me so much more than what I anticipated. I'm glad that you went in that direction. And I will share with you why. A lot of times when you talk about legacy, succession, so often Black business owners, they hear the words, they know what they are, but they haven't mapped it out. Or you don't necessarily have to map your legacy. What you have to know that you're living in purpose, because living in your purpose drives the legacy pieces. And so I think that you did a phenomenal job of answering that. So that's going to take me to the next thing, right? For me, I really want to know, so what do you have going on? Like, talk to me about, what's going on in your business. What do you have going on? Events, programs, like talk to us a little bit about that. Let's know more about that.
Okay, so I want to open up, and this is the part of Birdie shining a light on it, being more seen, being more transparent about what it is. I am orchestrating right now a way for our sisterhood to provide so much more of an impact, because we started out during the middle of this pandemic, so our world was closed, but it opened up so much more because we were able to meet people all over the world. But now we want to expand on those relationships. And because we are virtual, that's possible. And learning who you are, what your purpose is, how you want to expand is paramount, because now you know exactly where you want to take this direction. So I see my beautiful sisters growing into more of a collective, more of a sisterhood. So I started Mixers and Masterminds because I know my sisters want to do more than, go through shadow work, which shadow work is such a huge part of it, where those things that were limiting everything that you were doing, or the things that you were hiding behind, or the things that were in your shadow that you couldn't get past, are not going to hold you back anymore. So we're going beyond reliving some of those triggers, reliving, some of those things that were holding you back. We got our love pathway, which we're going to figure out how we can be the women that we want to be, so that one day when you do have a companion, you're giving the best part of yourself and you're consistent and balanced with it. Then we have our sisterhood part of the Mixers and Masterminds, where we're working on entrepreneurship. How can I help you with your business? I am in 3 industries. I'm in the movie industry, the music industry, and literary industry. And those are the 3 basics. And then, of course, coaching. There's so many things that I've done within my whole entire life that I know that I can, and I learned the hard way a lot of things. It wasn't like somebody that was like, here, Birdie, let me show you how to do this. Here, Birdie, let me show you how to do that.
What you're saying is you got it out the mud.
I got it out the mud for 26 years. So all of that time, I've been able to be who I am, the best, the worst, the good, the bad, the ugly. And now I can be a mentor.
Mm. So tell me where we can go to get more goodness, right? More goodness of you. And where can we find you on these social media streets?
Okay, so birdiechesson.com is the root. And you might go down a rabbit hole, but you're gonna love every single branch within that tree because it covers every single part of what it is. So birdiechesson.com. Start there. And after that, in social media, book Coach Birdie on Instagram, or the Birdie Chesson on Instagram. And then we have Birdie Chesson. If you go on birdiechesson.com, all of the pathways to me, however you need to find me, is there. Families, people who want to learn how to write books, people who, I have this little keyword thing that's all about inspiration. Yeah, it's a good rabbit hole. You have a good time. So yeah.
They definitely will. So I just want to share with everyone. So I have been fangirling Birdie for a while. It's been at least, I want to say maybe 3 years now, right? About 2019-ish, I think. Yeah. So I love everything that you do, everything that you write. I love your energy. I love how you love on women and give us permission, right? Just you create safe spaces that give us permission to grow and to heal. And I love that more than I love, I love that about you. I love how you embrace kindred spirits. I love how you know yourself enough that you can be the kind of stand-up woman that another woman needs in their space. And I love how you allow other women to shine around you because you don't feel a sense of competition. You feel like when your sister succeeds, you succeed. And that has been a thing about you that I have adored from the moment I met you. We've always talked about that a spirit knows a spirit. When you are in the presence of something that is great, or when you're in a presence of a you for you, you know what that is, you know what it feels like, you embrace it because you want so much more of that. And the one thing about you is that you have always made me want more. I always want more of Birdie. And what I love about that is that I know, my knowing is that when I say to myself, I want more Birdie, I mean, I want more me. And I love that. So I just want to thank you for coming on. This was an amazing business spotlight. So I'm going to encourage everyone, if you have not, you need to go check out birdiechesson.com. You can really just search her name and she comes up, all the things. And when she says rabbit hole, I don't want you to be intimidated by that. What I want you to know is that she has a deep set of resources for you wherever you are in your life. If you're unsure and you're just starting out, if you want to do some deeper work, or if you're more advanced and you're growing and you are scaling and you have like a plan already, but you need some resource and support around that, Birdie literally can, her wares, right? The things that she does, the things that she has to offer, they really can fit you in every step of your journey. I want to encourage you that if you don't know more, find out more about that Sip and Chat. That Sip and Chat is a beast, y'all. And then also the mastermind is even better for entrepreneurs. So I'm going to encourage you and motivate you to find out more by going to research her. And then if you have some questions, just drop some notes in the comments on this video, because we want to encourage you to connect. Connection is key. And I'm going to end on this note. So for those of you that are watching and you don't know me, I am Tiffany Hicks, the CEO of VRE Training Solutions. I never start with that. I never lead with who I am and what I do. I lead with spotlighting the people that God has blessed me to connect with. And I am honored to have the presence of some of the people that I know, and Birdie is definitely one of those. And what I will share with you is this. There are times in your life where you have to go into spaces where it's okay for you to heal. It's okay for you to have whatever your transgressions are. It's okay for you to not be whole. It's okay for you to be imperfect. And Birdie is one of those people that creates safe spaces for you to be all of those things and then to emerge from that shit like a phoenix. And I love that about her. And so I encourage you to learn more. And I encourage you to, if you want to know more, definitely leave us some comments on the video. And then also, go out to Birdie and leave some comments on her things, right? Reach out, contact her. We've got to learn how to grow together and build each other and edify. And that's what these spotlights are about. So until the next time that I see you all, I'm going to tell you, be intentional. Everything that you want and need is on the other side of your intention. Bye.
Bye.